a bottle of...
Oh, shit. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness.
Where the hell is the fucking Hall of Fame?
Get up, come on, get down with the sickness.
How dare you say such things about a widow?
Did she eat the corpse?
Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your hate and let it flow into me. I can see inside you the sickness is rising.
I think he's some kind of darky.
Seems that all that was good has died.
He living up my coattails.
Oh no, the world is a scary place.
Quiet down on the Christmas show, for fuck's sake!
Now that you've woken up the demon in me.
Whose idea was this?
Quiet up! Come on, get down with the sickness.
Hello?
Mother, get up. Come on, get down with the sickness. You
Sit on my face.
fucker, get up. Come on, get down with the sickness.
Go to get it.
Open up your hate and let it flow into me. Why can't you just fuck up and die and get down with the sickness?
That's it, too.
Fuck you! Leave the shit. I'm down with the sickness. Get new and sadistic abuse and fucking organs. Down with the sickness.
He got out.
Here it comes. Get ready to die. Get ready to fuckers.
Die.
So we're going to talk about SmackDown here. Vinny, if you have to make any comments, you may, of course, raise your hand politely.
And I will put the mic in his face.
Because he does, in fact, know how to do this job.
Right.
Open up with Ray coming down to the ring. He said, I quit because my knee hurt, but I never quit on you fans, and I vow that I shall return someday. To which we all thought, I thought it was loser leaves SmackDown.
That's what the stip was, I thought.
This was a TNA moment right here. Let's have a loser leaves town, I quit match.
And I'll show up next week.
The guy will show up next week promising to retire. He won't retire, and he'll vow to return.
Absolutely. That makes total sense.
So that was annoying. Then Chavo and Vicky came out with a chair. Chavo tried to save this segment by saying he would autograph this chair for young Ray.
May I step in just for a moment? As a large man...
you are, in fact, large.
Yes, sir.
And a man.
Yeah. A heck of a man, too. Anyway, I was always taught as a large man, you were supposed to put the darker colors where you want the less flab to show, as it were. You know, because black is very slimming. That's why I always wear black shirts. Vicky Guerrero was wearing a black top, but her huge posterior was not camouflaged in these white pants.
She was wearing tight white pants.
Oh, Lord.
We were also watching it on Fat Vision.
Oh, is that why?
It was, the screen was stretched.
It's funny because Chavo wasn't fat, and neither was Ray.
How dare you say such things about a widow?
Dude.
She probably should have worn different
pants. Did she eat the corpse?
Christ!
Craig's been turned down here for a little while.
I'm gonna go clean the mic off.
Greg's going to church on Sunday, mind you. So anyway, yeah, she was a little heavy. I'll just put it that way. Oh, Craig's
a little heavy.
Oh, Craig's trying to take. Oh, look at you trying to take.
I'm sorry. A little heavy. I've used this joke before, but I'm going to use it again. Saying she was a little heavy would be like telling somebody in the path of a tidal wave that they were going to experience moisture. Okay? She wasn't a little heavy. She was fat.
That's enough from you two. I blame you for that joke. All right. So anyway, Chavo attacked Ray, and Benoit came out and made the save.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay, Benoit.
You're like Brent Kremen. You just don't keep going. Let me explain that. Brent tells a wacky joke, and everyone just sits here.
Well, you see, because they had a movie together.
Brent Kremen tells a wacky joke, and no one laughs, and he just keeps going. You just go with it. So you're a step above Brent Kremen.
Oh, thank God.
And you eat pork. Yeah. Craig, please, don't make me kick you out of the house. The only other person I've ever kicked out is Brent. Think about that. Do you really want to be lumped in that way? That's right. We're going to play a little game here.
Okay.
No, he doesn't need them.
Okay.
We're going to play a game here called You Are Now the Co-Host, and you can give the mic to Vince
Oh, okay.
whenever he beckons.
Did I see this next show that we're going to review here?
We're going to talk about TNA.
Survivor was on yesterday, and I don't watch TNA because Survivor's on.
First off, you're going to have to speak up a little bit there,
I'm
Daddy.
sorry.
There you go. I'd also like to note that you did mention at Red Robin tonight that this was the first TNA that you'd watched in a long time.
Probably 6 weeks.
As a fan, Craig, why don't you watch TNA?
Because Survivor is on.
Okay.
I thought we just went over this.
All right. As a fan in the year 2006 with a fucking DVR,
Right.
why don't you tape
Actually,
the goddamn show and watch it
I
later?
have two, actually, but
Okay, you've got 2 DVRs.
I don't care.
That's the answer
No,
I was looking for.
there's nothing on there I really want to see.
Why do you have 2 DVRs?
Because my wife tapes stuff.
Okay, can a DVR tape a number of things at the same time?
Absolutely. And I have satellite, so.
So how many things do you have to tape at one time?
Well, just Survivor. That's all I want to watch, baby.
So why do you need 2 DVRs?
Well, okay, never mind.
No, I need to know this answer
Okay,
now.
because when you have a satellite, you have to have 2 boxes in order for the satellite to function.
Uh-huh.
So it's just as easy to get a DVR as it is to get just a regular incoming box.
I see.
Yes.
So you're not having 2 DVRs just because you feel you need an extra.
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
No.
All right. We only have one thing left. It's Impact.
Fuck!
And we're saving the best
God
for last.
damn it. I was driving around today.
Hold on a second. I want you to first remember that there are people above us, next to us, and they are all elderly. So let's try not to yell too loud.
I feel elderly. I was driving around.
And I've told
today.
you this before. Hold your thought. My bed is right up next to the wall, you know? My
Yeah.
head's right next to the wall.
Where's this going?
And on the other side,
So when Bryan has his alone time,
so
you
on,
say,
and on the other side of the wall, the elderly folk have put their bed up. It's not what you think.
Are you peeking in their windows?
I'm not going where you think that we're
and
going.
the elderly couple's bed moves more than Bryan's.
Anyway. So both beds are like up against the wall right here. So like I go to lay down in the middle of the night and I can hear the dude snoring. I just hear this. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, can you move your fucking bed? And then I like wake up at 9 or 9:30 or whatever. And meanwhile, they've been awake. So like from about 8 o'clock on, I just hear, you know how elderly people drink tea and cackle? That's what they do in the morning. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. I was not aware that elderly people like to drink tea and cackle.
They do. They sit around a table, a bunch of them. And they just sip tea and cackle.
Were you watching this on the Discovery Channel? The Lives of the Elderly?
In HD. We'll get Granny on the line next time and I'll ask her. She'll tell you.
Okay.
No, her and the red hat sit around a table and they drink tea and cackle. Yeah. Anyway.
To-do list. 1, drink tea. 2, cackle.
So, I don't know. Oh, the point was, shut the fuck up when you're yelling here
Right.
at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Stop using profanity so early. Or so loudly. Anyway. I was out today driving around. It's winter in Seattle, so we've seen the sun for the last time until about May. And it's going to rain every day between now and then. And today it was raining pretty damn hard. It's been a rough week around here. My work
Weather sucks.
lost power twice. I've driven by guys who ran into power poles. Everyone was crashing into things. And I was driving around today. It was raining really hard, and it was raining so hard at one point that my car radio started to get drowned out. And I thought, this is kind of like watching TNA. Only
You sure you didn't just go in a tunnel?
yes. This is like watching TNA, except with TNA, it's more like shit is falling from the sky and falling all over you and all around you on top of your car.
By the way, I think that's one of the signs of the apocalypse.
And it's so loud you can't hear anything. It's all you can think about. That's what watching TNA is like. It's like you're outside and shit is falling from the sky and just cascading all over you.
I can't believe I gave you a full minute to just talk about that. The weather here
appreciate it.
sucks.
Yes.
I didn't need to hear about shit falling from the sky.
I didn't need to
all over
watch
your
Impact.
car. This show sucks. This show was worse than last week.
It was.
It didn't have a match as stupid as last week's match, but this was a shittier show. And it's actually much shittier. We'll get to that in a moment. The announcers open up saying that, oh no, you know what? There was almost a dumber match. The announcers open up saying that this week it was the tournament phase of the Fight for the Right tournament. They cut backstage. Christy and Chris Sabin were doing something. Sabin, I don't know what the fuck he's done with his hair and his beard.
That's bad.
Something went awry. So AJ walked in. They got in an argument. Sabin said, "Eat me, punk." AJ attacked him. They got in a brawl. Later, I guess there was another interview, and these were all what they did, everybody, was they took 4 weeks of angles and put it in a minute, basically.
Right.
So then these two were going to have a match, and they were going to just have a tournament match, but Sabin ends up putting the X title on the line.
Sure.
Which he won at the last pay-per-view, and they didn't announce it on the following TV. So this week he just showed up as the champion, and then he lost the belt in 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. It sucks.
Match was fine, but
The match was a fine little 4-minute encounter. The promos, as you said, it was 4 months or more of angles done in 1 minute. And I thought, wow. Because for what they were pretty good. And I thought, if this were building up a fight on the next pay-per-view, that might be worth something. But no, they were building up the main event of this show.
that was next.
I left the room for a minute and I came back and they were doing it now.
Yeah.
They were doing it to build up a fight that was happening in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it was over in 6 minutes.
Yeah. It was over in 4 minutes.
Well, kind of 2 minutes.
I see. Yeah, it sucked. This sucked.
It sucked bad.
It sucked a cock.
It didn't
Goes
back suck a
far
cock.
to say.
And yes, the title changed hands and it was a tournament match. So it's always good to have everything flying at you at once.
So Truth faced Lance Hoyt in a match. By the way, I should note that these dudes are having a tournament apparently. And then, something's happening. I don't know what. I don't understand the tournament. But my understanding from somebody that claims that they understand the tournament is that Abyss somehow gets 2 buys. He is already in the finals.
Here's the way it's going to work. Because everything has to have a wacky nickname. So there's the Fight for the Right, which is the whole tournament in general.
Okay.
We has stage 1 and stage 2 and stage 3, as we already saw. Stage 4 was these single matches. And then stage 5 is, and I quote, the 3-way collision, which will be next week between AJ Styles and Truth and a third man.
I thought that third man was Abyss.
No.
Apparently.
It's Bobby Roode.
Oh.
Yes.
So when the fuck does Abyss wrestle?
He will face the winner of the 3-man thing.
Yeah, but when? Hold on a second. Here's why I'm asking. Hold on a second. What's today? All right.
Saturday morning.
Okay, today's the 4th. All right. So you're saying that next week on the 10th we'll have the 3-way.
Yes.
That won't work
Don't look at me. I didn't book it.
because what day is the primetime debut?
Next week, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. I think it's the 17th.
Oh.
Okay, so the 17th, I guess. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Dude, there's 2 shows. There's a show on Thursday, and then there's the show on that Saturday, and then the Genesis pay-per-view.
What the
is
hell's
on
the
19th.
Saturday?
That's that primetime thing you were
The
just talking
primetime
about.
debut's on a Saturday?
That's what you said.
I didn't say that.
You didn't say that.
Anyway, I thought there were 2 shows there.
Give that thing back for a second.
I apologize.
No, it ain't your fault. I'm just
It's
pissed off.
TNA's fault.
Okay, TNA's got the... Okay. All right. The 2-hour special is November 16th.
Okay.
All right, so that's 2 Thursdays from now.
All right. So they have...
Okay, but hold on a second. We'll get to this other thing we have to talk about. Kurt Angle is wrestling on the 16th. He's wrestling on free TV.
We'll get to that later, but okay, for now we'll
Yeah,
just
Craig
accept
doesn't
it is.
even know this yet. And you should just see his face. Why? Kurt Angle's wrestling for free on the 16th, 3 days before the pay-per-view. No, you know he's wrestling on the 16th? Not just a jobber. He's wrestling the winner of the Fight for the Right tournament. So my question is, if he's fighting the winner on the 16th, that would mean that Abyss would have to be in the 3-way next week. Because Abyss has to win next week. in order to face Kurt Angle the week after. Otherwise, Abyss faces the winner on the 16th, and he has to wrestle twice that night.
He's going to have to... There'll be either the last 2 matches next week, or Abyss will have to wrestle twice on the 16th.
Jesus, this is fucking
This
stupid.
is fucking retarded.
Yeah, Kurt Angle is facing the winner of this tournament 3 days before the pay-per-view, and the winner of the tournament gets a title shot.
So they have 2 main events, and they've booked half of them against each other.
So
theoretically, you've got 3 choices. The number 1 contender loses, Kurt Angle loses,
that's not going to happen.
or you have a fuck finish. On the
Obviously,
primetime
because
debut.
why would they have Kurt Angle job and then go wrestle Joe, who's undefeated?
Why would they have the fucking winner, the number 1 contender, do a job? You wouldn't have either.
This is totally
So
asinine.
you're gonna have a fuck finish.
You have to.
And I can only imagine. Do you make Angle look competitive with Abyss?
So Samoa Joe and the winner of the 3-way run in.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
That makes sense.
Give that mic back. Yeah, kids, so that's the big news right there. It's Kurt Angle versus Abyss on the 16th. However the fuck Abyss wins this fucking stupid-ass motherfucking tournament. Sorry. Jesus Christ. Then we had the main event. Oh, this was good stuff. I should note that throughout the show, the announcers were trying to explain what this match was called. Yeah, but they were calling it. I'm trying to find out. I wrote it down and I read it back and I was like, he couldn't possibly have said that, and so I erased it.
Perfect.
But anyway, here's what they did: it's Christian versus Rhino in a pole match.
It's not what you're thinking.
They had 4 poles, 1 on each ring post. And in each,
Except for 2 of them.
And in each pole, I'm just trying to explain this because you're just a casual fan that doesn't know what this is about. They had 4 poles, and on each pole was a box. Yeah. And in 2 of the boxes was, in 2 of the boxes
Those are fun.
was a weapon.
They did this gimmick.
Hold on, put it back.
They did this gimmick in Texas wrestling years ago. And when Sean was booking, they have a box, and in 2 of the boxes there's a weapon.
Okay.
And in the other 2 boxes, there's nothing in them.
Okay, you're wrong already. Give it back.
My bad.
Quit jumping the fucking gun. This is Vince Russo. We didn't take something from Texas wrestling in '85.
No. Shawn Michaels was booking that when he was out.
Oh, Russo was watching that on tapes. Let me explain this match to you before you jump in here. There's 4 poles. Shut up. Don't get into this again. Just listen to me. There's 4 poles. Okay? There's a box on each pole. In 2 of the boxes, there's a weapon. In the other 2 boxes, there's a means of escape. What does that mean? Oh, let me explain what it means. They're going to have a cage match on November 16th. A barbed wire cage match. So the stuff they're getting out of the boxes now, they got to put in another box with their name on it, and they get to take those boxes to the show on the 16th, and they can use it in the... No, hold on. They can use it in the cage. No, let me explain some more.
Why necessitate a cage match? If you can escape the cage, what's the point? And...
I like how you're jumping in before I'm done explaining this.
Okay, and to make... what happened to keeping wrestling simple so the simpletons can understand it?
Yeah, this is dumb.
This is stupid.
Let me keep going.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, give that back to him.
No, I'm going to hold this because I have more to say.
Fine. So, yeah, they fought, and there was a straight jacket, and there was bolt cutters, and a loaf of bread. I can't even remember the last 2. There's 4 things.
One of them was a key, and the key was attached to a giant wooden block, like you used in elementary school when you had to go to the restroom.
Yeah, like when you have to piss. There's a giant paddle with a key on it. There's a key, a straight jacket, bolt cutters. What was the last one, Vince? Help me out here.
I have no idea.
Straight jacket.
A knife.
It's a dynamite.
No, it wasn't. Doesn't matter.
Grenade.
Anyway, each guy had a box, which was a Tupperware bin from Walmart, and had a piece of tape on it and their name written on it. And so apparently they get to bring this box into the barbed wire cage match.
I can only hope they are actually toting these down to the ring as they make their entrance.
Yeah, and we're trying to figure out, okay, What if you get something out of Rhino's box? Is that a DQ?
I can just see Rhino tippy-toeing past Christian Cage to steal his box.
Yeah.
Oh.
What happens if you go over to Christian's box and you grab the straitjacket out of it?
Will you be disqualified for using the straitjacket in the barbed wire steel cage match?
Yeah, you got into the other guy's box. It had his name on it.
Son of a bitch.
And you never get into another guy's box. Ever.
I was hoping that on one of the polls there would be a 1-up. Remember from Mario Brothers, a little mushroom and you got an extra man? That's what they need, a match where you get an extra man.
That would be good.
Or if you get pinned, another man runs in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. This is stupid.
Oh, yeah.
This is ridiculous. Who's booking this?
And then, hey, there's more. So afterwards, after the match, after they'd all got their stuff to put in their little box.
The 4 boxes were opened, and then the match just ended.
Yeah.
There was no winner, there was no loser.
Yeah, once all the boxes were filled, the match was over. There was no pinfall or submission. It was just you just had to get shit for your box.
You were criticizing me for not watching this show. I just want you to know, I was watching Survivor.
Okay, get that mic back. So, anyway.
I'm watching Survivor next week, too.
At the end of the deal.
I hate Survivor.
In runs Kazarian and Shannon Moore in their Halloween costumes. And they were dressed like Shannon Moore. I'm sorry, that's why I was confused. They're both the Prince of Punk now. So they run in, they're a brand new team, they've just formed, they've just got a new makeover, they've just got a new gimmick, and what happens when they run in? Rhino beats them up 1-on-2 and sends them packing. And off they run. Off they prance. Like fucking Maximo. Yeah.
Except he's over. Yeah, this infuriated me.
We were watching the Cyber Sunday match. It was the tag team battle, the Spirit Squad versus Ric Flair and his partner for the tag team championships of the Earth. And the fans, you fucking fans.
You shits.
You chose Roddy Piper as Ric Flair's partner, which was absurd. And everybody knew it, including Roddy Piper.
Including Roddy Piper. So this part, he kind of rolled his eyes and said, well, here we go.
I've got to work tonight, goddammit. So he came out, and we were on the way back today, and I think was it Sean who said that, who was it that was talking about punishing the fans? Somebody made this comment.
I think it was Sean reading feedback, but...
That's right, we might have been reading, that's right, Sean was reading feedback on his cell phone for this show about, some fan had accused WWE of punishing the fans for voting in ways they did not. What are you doing?
I'm just playing with this.
Well, stop it when I'm doing this rant. He basically claimed WWE was punishing the fans for voting in ways they did not want them to vote. And at first I thought, what a dumb fan. This is just, what this is you're trying to create controversy where there is none. You're trying to create some sort of, like JFK's murder, which actually probably was
That's
a
bad
conspiracy,
example.
but you know what I mean. Trying to create a conspiracy where there is none. But upon further thought, this fan might be onto something, because the first thing Roddy Piper did when he came out is he unleashed his physique upon the world.
He let it free.
He took his shirt off, revealing his bulbous, white, pale gut, which was in fact so white it was pink. You described him as looking like an egg.
He looked like an egg, round and white.
But like a hard-boiled pink egg around Easter that had been designed to look like Roddy Piper.
So the worst painted Easter egg ever, Roddy Piper, yes.
Everybody was just laughing in the room.
I've never...
There were a lot of people here, by the way.
There was a big crowd for this show for Christ knows what reason. I've never watched a match where no one watching could shut up. And I include myself in that. Don't get me wrong.
Just laughing.
Everyone was laughing or making a comment or just saying, my God, look at Roddy Piper.
Trying to compare Roddy Piper to various round objects.
He looked
horrible.
bad.
He looked real bad.
So we're all sitting here laughing and bewildered and stunned. And then a certain woman.
Craig's beautiful daughter.
Danielle Proper, who she's dead to me.
Wow.
But as
I hope she's not listening.
Fortunately, this is after she brought me the brownie. Otherwise, she'd really be dead to me. But she walked in. She advanced to the screen. She didn't laugh.
No, what happened was Craig goes, Danielle, come here. There's a real hot guy on the screen.
That's right. That's right. Craig is, in fact, a participant of this crime.
He was.
He was aiding and abetting, although he was not aware of it. So Danielle walks in and looks at Roddy Piper, and she does not laugh, she does not shriek, she does not go, ew.
She just looks at him.
She looks at him.
As if to say, what is that?
She takes it all in, and there was a lot to take in. And then she very calmly states, that's what Vince will look like next year. And the room went silent. No one knew what to say until finally I just went, what?
Oh, God. I'd never have laughed so hard. If Craig had not been in the room, I would have proposed marriage right there, because Jesus Christ.
So, yes, Danielle's, she's dead to me. She was a nice girl at one time.
She was the only person in the room.
Shame she had to go.
The only person in the room that at some point had not buried you. And now we can scratch her off the list. She was
the only one person in the family, I think, who not buried me. Now it's just on the 1-year-old.
You've been buried by everyone. And the child weeps whenever you come into the room, so, oh, what a wonderful day.
You.
Look at me, you should have looked at Sean.
That's true. Sean was, in fact, laughing harder than you are right now.
Sean was having way more fun than I was. We're on the way home and we're reading some pay-per-view feedback from a website which I will not mention, but rhymes with the Wrestling Flubserver. Anyway, reading this feedback from the Observer site, and they have best match and worst match. And for best match, at least 2 people, and you can correct me or I will allow you to speak if I'm wrong, at least 2 people said that Jeff Hardy and Carlito had the best match on the show. What the fuck were these people watching? This match, kids, was horrible. This match was the worst match on the show by a wide margin. Our friend Dr. Keith PM'd me or sent me a text message in the middle of the show and he actually asked how Cyber Sex Sunday was. I don't know if that was something on Spice or something like that, but so I emailed back, Carlito and Jeff Hardy had the worst match in the history of the solar system, and I'm not sure if that's an exaggeration. And he texted me back and said, was it worse than Heroes of Wrestling? I don't think it was, but this was a fucking bad match. And listen, Lita and the other girl, I already forget who was in the match, Mickie James, they had a bad match. Don't get me wrong, they had a horrible match. Carlito was so much worse than anyone else on this show, including Roddy Piper, that I don't even have words for it. And I will also say this. For those of you that think that the voting was fake, that the fans voted and then WWE just put whoever they wanted in the match, this was proof that these fucking guys didn't know they were going to be working each other. Which is kind of absurd because everybody knew it was going to end up being Carlito by a landslide. And it was, in fact, Carlito by a landslide. So you'd think these 2 jackasses would have worked out a match. And if they did work out a match and it was as bad as this, somebody needs to be beheaded. This was ungodly. I ran out of verbs when I was trying to do the report of this match. This adjectives. Is it adjectives, Vince?
Well, it could be a verb. It could be a verb if you're saying
I
this
ran
sucked,
out of verbs,
this blew, this swallowed,
adjectives, nouns, pronouns.
It was fucking awful.
Fuckhead's a pronoun, right?
Sure.
Carlito's a fuckhead.
Carlito, yeah.
Listen, for all of you that have listened to me ranting about Carlito for months and months and haven't, and I guess are still thinking he's good, watch this show. This was all Carlito's fault. I don't fault Jeff Hardy for any of this. And Jeff Hardy's a man with a past of major drug problems. Jeff Hardy, since he returned, has been great. And Jeff Hardy was not... Listen, there were a lot of issues in this match, and granted it could have been both men's faults, but there were also issues that involved one man, and that one man was always Carlito.
There were many moments during this match when Jeff Hardy stopped what he was doing and looked at Carlito as if to say, my God, you fucking suck.
I've never been one of those guys that have said, if you've never been in the ring, you aren't qualified to comment on a match. But I'll say this. I've been in a ring, and I can tell you right now that Carlito and Jeff Hardy had one of the worst matches of the year. And if you don't think so, then you need to have a few matches, and you'll understand. Paul, I swear to Christ, Paul would have had a better match than Carlito tonight.
Paul, the trainee from Buddy
Paulie,
School.
the trainee who's been training for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
This was so bad.
I was going back and forth between this and Test versus Holly for the worst match of the year, and it occurred to me at the end when Jeff won, and I use that word term loosely, And he grabbed his belt and he started walking around the ring and curse. I thought, where have I seen that before? And I finally remembered several years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago, Kid Cash and Jorge Estrada had a match on TNA that was equally shitty. And it was done, Kid Cash walked around the ring just swearing to himself. And you know, when you have a match that's so bad, you're comparing it to shitty matches from history, that right there is the worst match of the year.
And you know, now that you mention that, Jorge Estrada and Carlito have a fantastic
They may
amount
be the
in
same
common.
man. Has anyone ever seen them in the same place together?
I haven't.
No, I can't either.
I remember when Jorge Estrada was on TNA every week, and I thought, why the fuck is this guy employed? He's horrid. And he was horrible every single week. He always had bad matches.
Yeah.
He never looked good, and I'm like, what are you guys fucking seeing this guy? Who's he blowing? It's one of those times where that's all you can think.
He's a small, heavyweight Puerto Rican guy who does a lot of stupid flippy-doos, and they're ugly.
And it's horrible.
And it's horrible.
God, this was bad. This made me mad it was so bad.
And it was long.
Yeah, here's a rib. Okay, Carlito, you and Jeff Hardy go out and call it in the ring for 15 minutes.
On pay-per-view.
They fucked up everything.
Oh, they were fucking stuff up.
They may have fucked up every spot in the whole match.
And when they weren't, the few times they were not fucking things up, they were doing boring stuff, such as Carlito decided, I will put Jeff Hardy into a bear hug.
Yeah, and everyone was chanting boring.
Yep.
This was the biggest thumbs down I've ever given any. I swear to God, this was the worst match of the year.
It was.
They just fucked up everything. Jeff started getting mad and hitting him real hard.
But by the end, Jeff just did not care and was just hitting him with everything. He dropped him on his head in a suplex facebuster thing, and when it was time to do the senton, he just landed with all his weight on Carlito and didn't care if he broke all his ribs or not.
Let me tell you something. I used to use the senton in every match.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every match.
I see where you're going with this.
Which is one of the reasons my back's all fucked up, but I once squished a man with the senton.
I saw it.
The man was Matt Farmer.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was, I was having a match, and we were going over it in the back, and I said, okay, listen, this ring's really big. It's like 20 feet by 20 feet, and I'm short. So if you lay in the middle of the ring, and I have to jump from this fucking corner all the way to the middle of the ring, I'm gonna crush you.
Right.
So this is what I want you to do. And I even made a diagram.
You did.
I made a square, and I said, here's the middle, and here's the post. I want you right in between the middle and the post. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's right there.
Simple.
Okay, said Matt Farmer. So what's this fucking guy do? He lies in the middle of the dead center of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I have two choices here. I can either not do the move, or I can just jump like a motherfucker and life be damned. Which I said back in the day before I smartened up. Years later, I would just climb down and just covered him. And hoped he didn't kick out, but... So I jumped. I just leaped with all my might.
I was watching this, I think filming this, but you flung your body through the sky and it hurtled down just across his body.
Yeah.
You don't land you do not tuck and roll, you just splatted over him.
Yes.
In a straight line.
Oh, yes.
And I remember roaring with laughter.
And Matt Farmer to this day blames this on me.
Well, that's not surprising.
But anyway, the point is, if he would have laid in the right spot or any closer to the post,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I've hit you with the senton. I'd never touch you.
No.
You wouldn't feel a goddamn thing.
Right.
So anyway, the point is, Carlito was like 2 feet from the turnbuckle.
He was as close to be to the corner without being under the ropes.
Okay, the only way that Jeff Hardy could have squashed this guy is if he made a concerted effort to do it.
I absolutely, totally agree.
And he did.
He decided, fuck this shithead, I'm going to hurt him now.
And he crushed him with the senton.
And he crushed him with his body.
And he pinned him.
And
I would like to note, everybody, since we're all about the backstage news here at F4WOnline.com, this isn't actually backstage, but it's close enough. After the cameras went off the air, and the music stopped playing, Carlito immediately leapt to his feet and just walked to the back. Didn't even sell it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Carlito, everybody. You blow.
Hello?
I love you, won't you tell me your name?
Hello?
I love you, let me jump in your game.
Hello?
I love you, won't you tell me your name?
Hello?
I love you, let me jump in your game.
Hello? 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 Hello?
You know I worked hard all winter
Hello.
Granny,
Yeah.
Hi, Granny.
you're here opening up the Bryan and Vinny show for Tuesday, November 7th, 2006 here at F4WOnline.com. What are you doing?
I'm sitting here playing Jewel Quest.
Jew Quest?
Jewel Quest.
Oh, I thought
Jewel Quest.
I thought this involved Brent Kremen. Well, your birthday was the other day. Did you have fun?
Well, yeah, I missed you.
Well, I couldn't be there, and I was supposed to tell you also that Wayne was ill, so he couldn't make it out there. But
he emailed me. But did they tell you what they gave me?
no, what'd they give you?
They gave me $1 for every year that I was born.
Good God.
That's a lot of dollars.
That was not the answer you're supposed to give, Vince.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what are you going to do with $42?
I know.
And Vince is like, man, you could buy a house with that.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, but you know something? I want to thank everybody on your board there, or wherever. I didn't get one single happy birthday.
They turned on you, Granny.
I guess so.
Oh, well, who cares about them?
Well, and I don't even know what jumping the shark means.
Well, you don't have to worry about it. It's nothing bad.
No, it's just and
It involves the Fonz, and he was cool, right?
Huh?
You remember the Fonz on Happy Days?
Yeah.
Yeah, it involves him, so it can't be that bad.
Oh, I didn't have any idea what it was, but
It's wacky.
in the birthday contest we had, that was funny. 4 people, and I'm just going to say Paul Miller won it because he said 39.
Congratulations,
Well, congratulations to Paul Miller.
Yep, he won it.
That's good. Well, we'll get him some sort of prize, like his name said out loud on this here show.
Way to go, Paul.
Way to go, Paul.
Yeah.
Well, Granny, what's up with Dancing with the Stars? We wanted to get a quick update before we talk about some really horrible wrestling shows this evening, so tell us what happened.
Okay, as we all figured, Monique is gone,
Yeah, we figured.
and so that
The colored girl.
leaves Emma, Joy, and Mario.
Okay.
And last week, Joy and his partner did a dance, the Addams Family song.
Really?
Oh, that was so cute. And they had Willa back,
Willa Ford returned?
but she wasn't dancing; she was singing.
How's that work? Is
She was singing. You know, they have a entertainer every once in a while.
Oh, just a random intermission?
Yeah, and she really sang good.
Well, that was her job before Dancing with the Stars,
Oh, is
I've
that
been
what
told.
I didn't know for sure. And the whole
She was a
bunch
no-hit wonder.
I understand the whole bunch of them are going on a tour.
You know, I heard that, and apparently they're doing a Dancing with the Stars reunion tour, and Stacy Keibler doesn't want to be involved.
Oh, she's doing a commercial with what's his name? You know?
Yeah. But apparently she's so busy trying to get her career going, which is probably smart since she's got a limited amount of time before everyone forgets who she is.
Oh,
She's not doing this tour, and there's controversy. People think she's a prima donna now.
Oh, well,
Ridiculous.
she's cuter than Willa though,
That's for sure.
and better figure too.
Yes, indeed. So are we down to the finals in Dancing with the Stars?
Well, let's see. We've got 2 more weeks, and you know, I think Emmett has a real good chance of winning.
That's Vince's pick, right? The
Yeah.
football dude, Emmett Smith, is that his name?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and you had Mario. That was who I wanted. So Monique's out, so I'm done.
Oh, too bad for you.
Not by choice, though.
So, good God, it's down to me and Vince now in the finals, basically?
Well, who had Joey Lawrence?
No, Joey is Tony's.
Oh, is Mario gone?
No, I said Emma, Joey, and Mario.
Okay, so basically our 3 are left.
Yeah,
God, it's me, Vince, and Tony.
yeah.
Well, somebody's going to be humbled. 2 people in this contest.
I don't think Tony even knows that.
Tony
knows nothing.
He has no idea he's involved.
And if he wins, we will not tell him, but if he loses, he's going to hear about it.
We involved him without his knowledge. And we will bury him if he loses. Don't get me wrong here. So that's the plan.
Well, Tony even came over for my birthday, Richard.
And I bet he stayed all afternoon, huh?
Well, he stayed a little bit, you know.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'll come over sometime this week, or maybe your next birthday, something like that.
Oh, well, I might not be around.
What a depressing thought. You always find a good way to depress everybody at the end of your appearances here, Grady.
I'm feeling great.
That's good.
Oh, good.
And I just went to lunch with a couple
And you're
of my
looking
friends.
better than Vince, so that's always good.
What's that?
You're looking better than Vince, too.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah. You went out with some friends, had a good time?
Yeah, I went out to lunch today.
That's good.
And Thursday we're going to have a big Red Hat convention at all you can eat.
A Red Hat convention?
Yeah, it's where they all
That sounds horrifying.
in this area. They corner one whole corner just for us at the country thing down at Totem Lake.
The old country buffet?
Yeah,
I just imagine you seen... Hey, what day is that?
that's Thursday.
Maybe I'll stop by.
Hey, why don't you do that?
What time is it?
I think we're going to be there at 11:30.
I'm actually maybe able to stop by for a few minutes, but...
Oh, and I met somebody at Pinochle that I was telling him about you being in the movie, and this guy, he's homelier in the mud fence, and he said, "Oh, I'm trying to get in the movies." And I said, "What can you do?"
Man, you make some friends there at Pinochle, don't you?
Well,
He's a bad egg.
What did you say? He's what than a mud fence?
He's homelier than a mud fence, and he's a bad egg.
Yeah, he is, and he holds his cards out so far I could cheat by reading his cards.
Well, you should do it anyway, just 'cause he's a bad egg. Oh, Granny, we hate to cut you off, but we got a bunch of shows we got to recap today.
Okay.
But we'll have you on probably this weekend talking about, are we down to the finals or what, or three
No,
left?
two more weeks.
Okay, well, we got plenty of time, so.
Okay.
Okay, we'll talk to you this weekend.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hope all you dicks on the board are happy now.
You shunned Granny.
You shunned Granny.
She carries a grudge.
She does carry a grudge. You're all bad eggs now. And you're all homelier than a mud fence. Every single one of you. Jackasses. God damn, I'm sexy. That would have been a bad time.
Hello?
Hey, Granny, what's up?
Not much.
Hi, Granny.
Who were you on the phone with? We were trying to call you and we kept getting a busy signal.
Well, Lynn calls me every night.
Oh.
I was just watching a Humphrey Bogart movie.
We thought you might have been on a 900 date line.
Oh, right.
Chit-chatting with some old fellow.
No, she was just telling me about the accountant in her office.
Yeah?
What about him?
Some guy killed both his parents today.
What?
What sucks?
The guy in her office killed both of his parents?
No, the guy that works in her office, the bookkeeper, somebody killed his parents back east.
Wow.
The son-in-law.
That's not funny at all.
No. It's sad.
That's horrible.
Not to make light of the situation, but how come every time you're on the show there is some horrible piece of news to bring us down?
I don't know.
Jesus.
I don't do it on purpose.
Wow. Well, that's horrible.
Yeah.
That is the worst thing I've heard all day.
Well, and then he killed himself.
Well,
That is now the worst thing I've heard all day.
at least he's not on the loose. I'm just trying to look on the bright side, everybody. How can we segue into something happy?
I was Dancing with the Stars.
That was great. You know, all three of them tied for first. Can you believe that?
What?
Yeah, they all tied for first. They all had 59 points total.
So are they going to have a triple threat dance-off?
Well, no, because one of them got kicked off. Guess which one?
Okay, hold on a second. Let me backtrack here. So what they do is they have the fans vote.
Yeah.
Okay, and the fans voted for each of them, and they all got 50...
No. They have three judges right there. After they finish dancing, then the three judges give them points up to like 10. You know, and the first dance that Mario did, they got 3 10s.
Okay, so the judges don't know what each other judge is scoring.
No.
So it just happened to be 3 59s.
Well,
That's wacky.
Yeah, because the first time around, one couple got 3 10s, and the next couple got a 9 and 2 10s, and the next couple got a 9 and 2 10s, and then the next time around it was just kind of opposite. The one that had 3 10s got a 9 in there, so it just turned out where they all came out with 59 total.
Well, I didn't understand a single word you just said, but my question is, does the voting have anything to do with who gets eliminated?
Oh yeah, whoever votes gets the most votes gets to stay. The judges don't have anything to do with that part of it.
Okay, so all three of them got the most points, so they all technically were going to stay.
Yeah. Well, it was up to the callers.
Okay, so then we went to the callers. That was not a tie.
No, one of them had to go.
All right, who were the three available so I can pick who went?
Mario, Emmett, and Joey.
I predict that, who did Tony have? He had Joey,
Tony
didn't
had
he?
Joey Lawrence, yes.
I predict Joey Lawrence got the axe.
I'm going to agree with Bryan. I think Joey's gone.
Yeah, he is.
Ah, ha, ha, ha! Tony, humbled.
And then between the other two, like, Mario, he'll have all the illegal Mexicans voting for him. So he'll probably win.
I had not thought of that possibility, but now that you mention it, he may, in fact, have a lot of illegals voting for him.
Yeah, because I think there's more of them than us.
I had not considered such a thing, but I know that your neighborhood in Bothell is very heavy in Hispanics.
Well, and Emmett, he has a lot of fans, too.
A lot of colored people?
Well, I didn't...
Is he a Negro, Vince?
He is.
Don't
Okay.
put a word in my mouth.
Sorry.
He is, in fact, a Negro. It's true.
I said that myself.
And another thing, too.
So do we have any white people left on this?
Joey, he got booted.
Wow! Well, that says something about this country.
Yeah. Well, they
Whites are becoming a minority,
It's falling apart, I tell you.
as determined by Dancing with the Stars.
Do I have to tell you to shut up again?
That's okay, I'm sorry. Go on.
Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that most of the dancers came back. Willa and some of the others that got kicked off, they came back and danced again.
Just for the heck of it, just to put on a
Yeah,
show?
yeah.
Wow. That's exciting.
And so then next week will be the last one. And
So next week it's the finals.
So who do you guys pick?
Well, so it's going to come down to the colored people or the illegals?
I'll stick with Emmett because he played football.
I got to stick with the illegals. I got to stick with my own kind.
How about you, Vince?
I'll stick with the football player.
Okay.
I to be perfectly honest, I am concerned that in fact Emmett is going to win.
I kind of, I don't know, I kind of lean toward him too.
But I'm still going with Mario though, because he's my guy.
Granny, who do you think, not who's going to win, but which one's the better dancer in your opinion?
I think they're all good. I mean, Joey, when they first started, he was clear down at the bottom, and he worked his way up to be, tie for first. And
he should get some sort of prize for the most improvement.
Well, yeah, but people just didn't vote for him as much.
Now, Granny, when Joey was on Blossom, he had a sweet mullet. Does he still have that haircut?
You know what a mullet is, Granny?
No.
Oh, well, he is.
It's I had one in my senior picture on your fridge. It's where it's short on top and long in the back.
Yeah.
It's a mullet. Does he have one?
Who, Joey?
Yeah.
No. Oh, was it Joey?
Joey Lawrence.
Oh.
Joey was bald.
Bald?
Yeah, he's bald.
Oh, my God.
Okay, we need to look up this on Google now.
This is news.
Yeah, he was bald.
His hair fell out, or he...
I don't have any idea. He was just...
Oh, it looks like it's shaved. Here's a picture of him right here. That's news to us.
Wow.
Tells us how often we watch these wacky Dancing with the Stars type episodes here. But, well, Granny, that's quite the update. So I guess we got to wait till next week to find out what happens.
Yep, we do. That'll be the final one.
And the finals take place on... what is going on with my computer? The finals take place on what day? On Tuesday?
Uh-huh.
All right, well...
No, I don't know if they're going to have a Wednesday or not next, since there's only going to be the two of them. I think it might be all done by Tuesday. I don't think they'll have anything on Wednesday.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Well, either way, we'll call you next weekend and get...
Yeah, but I want to tell everybody thank you for all the birthdays.
Yes, everybody wish Granny a very happy birthday. We're very appreciative. Thank you very much.
And made me very happy.
Ah.
Well, we should have a good thread about this show here. If we have any illegals on the board especially, so...
Oh, yeah, I know. I got to rile somebody up every time, you know how that is.
You've done a fine job today.
I'll probably do a good job on your mom.
On my mom?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What?
Well, your dad has a lot of friends that...
What are you saying, Granny?
I'm just saying, your dad's got a lot of friends.
Welcome to Bryan and Vinny Show, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Let's play the music here. Granny, it's been real.
Okay.
We're going to get rid of you now before we get in trouble.
Okay.
Bye, Granny.
We'll talk to you next week.
Okay.
All right, ciao.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
I'm not too good at this camera stuff, so I need some liquor.
We may all need some liquor.
That was awkward.
Oh, Granny. What can be said? Here on the Bryan and Vinny Show, F4WOnline.com, your home for wrestling, MMA.
Hello.
Granny,
Oh, hi.
Hi, Granny.
we're calling you for the show.
Oh, you're kidding.
Why is that surprising?
Well, because you're supposed to let me know in advance.
Oh, Brian, you didn't prep Granny.
Sorry. Well, you're good to go, aren't you?
Oh, I'm okay.
Granny
can roll with anything.
I got a few notes here.
That's always good. I have a drop here that I got to play now that you made that comment.
A professional!
She's a professional. What do you think about the Iron Sheik, Granny?
I don't like him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's a nasty guy.
He does.
He's got issues.
Yeah.
He does sometimes say some bad things.
You are fag,
Oh,
punk little gay.
sorry, Granny.
Yes, don't do that in front of me, please.
I can't believe you played that drop for your grandmother.
I didn't think that. I'm just going to move on. Well, Granny, I got to say this before we get started, that I actually already know who won Dancing with the Stars.
I know you do, because I saw it on the internet. Somebody put it on there.
Actually, when I saw the Dancing with the Stars thread, I ignored it. I was trying not to find out the results, but then I actually went onto the front page of Yahoo.
Yeah, I saw it on CNN.com.
Yeah, it was like a top story in the world.
Yes.
Oh, yes. It was all over everywhere.
Yeah. So,
Everywhere.
which brings me to another question for you, Granny. Speaking of the whole world, and I know you follow life in general and politics and such. What do you think about OJ writing a book?
I think he had to have a book signing, and somebody should walk up and shoot him.
Wow.
Well, I don't think it's out of the question.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be doing a lot of book signings for this particular Tome A.
I hope
It's a Tome
not.
A here in the Empire, by the way.
I hope not, because that could possibly happen to him.
So you're appalled at the idea.
I am appalled.
Well,
You know, it's funny, too, because when they had the trial, Terry and I both thought that he might not be guilty because she was kind of involved in drugs, and we thought maybe it was some drug dealers.
but then when they never found the real murderers, you sort of gave up on that whole idea?
Well, I didn't think too much about it all this time, until he comes out with this book, and now I really think he's guilty.
Well, I agree. I'm with Granny on this one.
I should note that as a strange historical fact, O.J. Simpson killed his family on the day the very first issue of this newsletter was published, June 12th, 1995.
You're kidding.
Pretty sure it was 95. Was it 95? I know it was June 12th because it was my birthday.
I don't really remember that far back.
I think it was 94.
I'll type O.J. Simpson murder into Google and see what it comes up with right here.
900 million pages.
Can we go back to this Dancing with the Stars for a minute?
Absolutely, Granny. Let's talk about that here.
I just wanted to tell you that they're going to be
1994. Sorry, year before. Okay, go on, Granny.
They're going to be in Seattle on December the 22nd at the Key Arena.
A tour?
Yeah,
Are you going?
I can't because I don't drive that far.
I don't either.
Anybody offering to take me?
You won't take your grandmother to Dancing with the Stars for Christmas?
Vince might want to go.
Would be fun because
I'll take Granny there and drop her off and pick her up afterwards for Christmas. I don't need to watch the dancing. Is Stacy Keebler going to be there? That might change my mind.
I might get in trouble though.
Why?
And I did see.
Wait, hold on a second. How would you get in trouble?
Well, if I went outside or something, I could get kidnapped or.
Oh, I thought you meant you'd be drinking or something and cause a scene.
Oh well, I did have a glass of wine this evening.
Well, join the club.
And you're concerned about being kidnapped.
You and I both drank, Granny. Vince is the only teetotaler or whatever they call it here. All right, let's move on. Dancing with the Stars. Who won?
Is he a teetotaler?
That's what it is. Whatever you call it.
Hey,
Well,
Granny would know, being old and all.
Brian cannot. How dare you? Brian can't use that word.
I'm sorry, I've been drinking, Granny. I may take you to Dancing with the Stars on December 24th.
Oh, 22nd.
Well, I may take you on the 24th.
Don't come 2 days late.
Okay, let's move on now.
Anyway, Stacy and George Hamilton were in the audience.
Are they dating? This is absurd.
I don't know.
I'm going back to Google and find out how old George Hamilton is.
He's pretty old. He's
okay.
certainly old enough to be your dad.
Well, I'm looking this up, Granny. Go ahead.
Didn't Vince, didn't you like him and thought he was neat?
1939?
I told you he was old
He's
enough.
65 years old.
I told you. I told you he was definitely old enough to be your dad.
Wait, 65?
Possibly. Is he old enough to be your grandpa?
He's 65 years old. Well, Granny's in her mid-50s, so yeah.
There you go then.
Okay, Granny, go on.
Well, that was I just saw him in the audience on TV.
Were they holding hands?
Were they swapping slobber?
I'm trying to think. He might have leaned over and kissed her on the cheek.
Oh.
That's a very George Hamilton thing to do.
Yeah.
This here says George Hamilton is often confused with Warren Beatty. That's impossible to believe.
I've never heard that before.
Oh, I think that's possible.
Really?
Who's writing this ridiculous stuff here on Wikipedia? All right, Granny, so who won?
Emmett.
I knew that. I was just asking for you to tell everybody.
Oh, okay.
It's giving you the office.
Everybody, Emmett won. Mario was good, though. I mean, it was so much fun. Then when they all three danced different dances, and they all tied.
They all tied again?
Yes, they all tied.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was just fabulous.
I heard from an inside source very close to Dancing with the Stars that when Mario lost, he was very mad.
I saw something on my computer here, but I didn't get a chance to look at it. But he seemed like he was okay.
He seemed okay. He was being a professional.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He seemed okay on there.
That's good. Well, what did you think overall of this season of Dancing with the Stars, Granny?
Well, at first I wasn't too crazy about it, but it really, it was really good at the end because they all got so good. And the gal that Emmett's partner, she's the same one that won last year.
She won 2 years in a row?
Mm-hmm.
They actually let him come back? Is that how it works?
Well, she's the professional.
Well, maybe so the professionals can repeat.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Of stars.
They had most of the ones that were there last year here this year.
Well, maybe she's like the you wouldn't understand the reference, maybe, Grandma, but the Ric Flair of dancers. She can just carry everybody to a championship performance.
Maybe she's making Emmett look better than he is.
Well, obviously, duh. I heard that Mario really improved as a dancer. Is that true?
Oh yeah, he was good. He was really good.
I heard Emmett Smith broke out the MC Hammer dance.
I'm not sure what that is.
Okay.
I can't even believe that Vince asked you that question. He's kind of an idiot, Granny. I apologize for him, but... Well, Thanksgiving is coming up, so before we let you go tonight, what's the big plan for the Thanksgiving feast?
Well, it should be at my house.
Okay.
And...
On Thanksgiving, I take it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and I wanted to also mention that IMM...
Uh-oh.
I got a kick out of that, him saying, where do we vote for to get Granny off the air?
IMM is an entertaining guy.
You know what, though? I think it's because he's from Brooklyn, and he's probably a Hillary Clinton lover.
And this ties into your appearances. How?
What's that?
How does this tie into your appearance on the show? Are you not a proponent of Hillary Clinton?
I am, but I say I am probably because he's from Brooklyn. He probably loves Hillary.
I see.
And you don't?
And that's why he wants you off the show.
I guess so.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to plan on Thanksgiving. So is that the plan?
Yep.
And are we doing something the day before too, or something or other?
What's that? What?
Aren't we doing something the day before too? Isn't there like 2 days in a row?
Not that I know of. It could be because your mom's having somebody else.
I see.
Oh, wait a minute. It was Nikki's in-laws.
Oh.
Yeah, she's having
Tony's parents.
sandwiches or something at her house.
I just want thousands of people to know the Thanksgiving plans.
The Alfred's plan.
Your online.
Everybody's welcome.
Everybody's welcome. Just head out.
If Ed Tang shows up for your Thanksgiving meal.
Just email me. I'll give you all directions. All right, Granny. Well, thanks for being on for the Dancing with the Stars this season.
Okay, and I hope I didn't stick my foot in my mouth like I did last time.
Absolutely
Never.
not. Never.
Absolutely never.
Never.
Okay.
We'll give you a call sometime about something of some sort. We'll get you on for a correspondent with something else at some point.
Okay, and everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, Granny, even though I'll see you there in a couple days.
Okay.
All right, adios.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was a fantastic appearance by Granny there.
And just so we don't get 800 corrections on the board, yes, we know IMM is from Buffalo.
No, come on now. Don't correct Granny, Vince, or I'll kick you off this show.
I wasn't correcting Granny. I was merely stating a fact.
What did she say he was from? The Bronx?
Close. Much closer than, yeah. He's from New York.
What did she say?
She said Brooklyn.
Oh, Brooklyn.
Which is only the opposite end of the state.
Have you ever thought that perhaps he actually is from Brooklyn and is putting a kayfabe address on the thing?
That never occurred to me.
Okay, well, it occurred to me, and Granny is way smarter than you, so stop second-guessing her. I'll kick your ass.
It's great when you point at me.
It's my grandmother we're talking about. How dare you question her? I love this business again. Ever since TNA brought back Vince Russo, I gotta say this about Russo. He is a gigantic moron, but when he's gone from TNA, I'll be sad. Because just the joy he's brought me with his incompetent booking this last couple of weeks. Remember when TNA was just on every week and it was just a show, and we go, it was fine. Chris Sabin had a match with 4 other dorks and it went 2 minutes. It was fine. Just over and over again. Now we can go, there was 4 polls. And each poll had a box on it. And in 2 of the boxes, there was a means of escape. And in the other 2 boxes, there was a weapon. And each guy got a Tupperware bin from the Walmart that had their name on it, and they got to put the stuff in the bin. Now what happens in the barbed wire cage match? What if you open your opponent's bin? That's pure joy.
Okay, you're doing an excellent point.
This has just brought all my love back. And I owe it all to Vince Russo. And, in turn, Christ. Because Vince Russo found God. And God brought him back. Did you know that? You people think I'm joking. Any hardcore Christians listening, don't cancel. I'm telling the God's honest. Pardon the pun. Vince Russo was in church. And our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ told him, you gotta go back and book TNA. Seriously.
I think
that's what Vince Russo claims.
That was just Jesus wanting him to get out of the church.
God told him to go back and book this shit. Thou shalt get 4 polls. I can only imagine the life. I've lost my mind. And it's all Vince Russo's fault. Oh.
So if you sign up.
If you sign up, you'll be able to just, you know what you'll be able to do is document my descent into madness, which is ongoing.
Every time I think you've gone the crazy, you,
all because of Vinny. I need to put my bathrobe on again. That's when you really know something's not going well. Upstairs. Chris Benoit and Casey James had a match. Unacceptable.
This is the best they can do with Chris Benoit, everyone.
No, that would have been fine if he would just squash this fucker.
Oh, well, yeah.
Casey James got the heat, and it took him 4 times as long to tap out. It did William Regal.
He did, in fact, that's right. He put up a hell of a fight in this crossface.
This is because William Regal's great and Casey James is green.
Yeah.
Now, I realize that fans have been, I guess, taught to think that the longer you stay in a submission, the better. But in reality, as soon as you're in, you tap. And sometimes you tap before you're in. Because you don't want to be in.
Being in a submission
that would be bad. And Regal knows that. As soon as Benoit had his hands locked, he's like, I'm fucked. Tap, tap, tap.
Yes.
That's real, kids.
That's how you have a good match.
That's good stuff. Here's Casey James in there, just holding on.
Ah! Sorry. That ruined the show, I admit it.
That is as bad as when you yelled B repeatedly.
I apologize and I won't do it again.
God, please don't ever do that again. I should turn you down just for,
And this is the time I would understand it.
Ridiculous.
Even Dave was insulted.
I'm sorry. But the first time I ever met Brent, he and I went to see a pay-per-view.
I realize that everyone that we've told the story 84 times, but I'm going to let you tell it again.
We went to see a pay-per-view in Vancouver, Canada. I think it was the main event was Rockin' Mankind, is all I remember. It was 98. And Brent quickly annoyed me, as he's wont to do. And we were driving back, and we were discussing Judaism and kosher habits, and he was explaining to us the rules about not mixing dairy and beef, and finally he had grown on our nerves to the point where we were just determined to get him to break kosher law. We were trying to get him to eat pork.
I don't want to get into a big religious debate or argument here, okay? But I am a reverend. Any form of religion that has the Bible as its basis, whether it be the entire Bible, the Torah, whatever. There's Catholics, Christians, Presbyterians, Jews, so on and so forth. It's all about picking and choosing what part of the Bible you want to abide by and what part of the Bible you don't want to abide by. Everybody, break out your Bible, read the first 5 books, the Torah, all the laws that the Lord gave, and if you want to abide by pork, I can't eat pork, the food must be kosher. Well, to me, that means you need to abide by every law in those first 5 books. And if you do that, you're beyond Amish. You can't do a goddamn thing. You can't wear anything, you can't eat anything, you can't do anything. You can't do a goddamn, so just eat pork.
Okay.
God, I'm sweating, I gotta take my clothes off again.
Bryan's removing his red
Christ.
sleeveless jacket
I'm gonna stop now before
to reveal the New Jack Swing t-shirt.
there's an exodus of subscribers from this site.
Sit on my face.
Well, kids, here we are for the Bryan and Vinny Show for Monday, November 20th, 2006, actually being done late Sunday night, following the TNA Genesis pay-per-view. I would like to note there will not be any Brent Kremen on this show. I'm only going to speak of this very briefly, but I've got to get a little something off my chest. Those of you that were in the chat room during Wrestling Observer Live probably witnessed a freak-out on my part, because at approximately 6:40 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I heard voices outside this here condo, and one of the voices sounded an awful lot like Brent Kremen's voice.
Uh-oh.
And then I began to hear this. Indeed. He began banging loudly on the door at 6:40 p.m., which I should note
First of all, it's an hour and 20 minutes early.
Hour and 20 minutes early, and in the middle of Observer Live.
Yes.
So, first off, this threw me off my game. Not that I have much of a game on Wrestling Observer Live, but I was sitting here going, Jesus Christ, what's happening here? What's this moron doing? And I couldn't just leave. So I tried to ignore it. And the banging continued for a while, and then it just sort of stopped. Mm-hmm. And during the next commercial break, I went over to allow Brent and his handler, Kirk, who's a fine man. And no one was there.
Of course not. They gave up and they...
Now, you'll recall that the last time Brent was supposed to be here at 8 o'clock.
Uh-oh.
And he arrived at 7:50, and I was getting food. He freaked out, even though he was early, and his plan was to go to a neighbor's.
Right, and look up your phone number.
Which he did. Mm-hmm. He went to a neighbor's house, he got on the internet to get my phone number, and he called.
And amazing, the neighbors never called the cops.
I've never been so angry with Brent as I was at that moment, when he actually went to a neighbor's house. Mm-hmm. Instead of just waiting outside for 10 minutes till the appointed time, when I might show up to allow him into my home, went to a neighbor's.
There's a reason we have not heard from Brent in the past months.
Disturbed these poor people.
Yeah.
And
there's no better word for that than disturbed, by the way.
They didn't come over the next day and yell at me or anything like that, but anybody that's ever had spent 5 minutes with Brent Kremen, I guarantee that they were annoyed. Mm-hmm. So when he vanished and I opened the door and there was nobody there, I knew he'd gone to a neighbor's house or he'd gone upstairs, and I began cocking the shotgun. I was ready to kick somebody's ass. Mm-hmm. There were many suggestions on the board, suggestions of beating the hell out of Brent and then doing the show from the squad car. I was fine with that idea. I was fine with kicking him in the nuts as hard as I possibly could, choking him, blooding him up, whatever the case may be.
I usually envision, I know this is going to sound funny because I'm not a fighter, but I usually envision just elbowing him to death.
I was fine with appearing on the 11 o'clock news.
Yeah.
Just this man snapped here in the Gold Leaf condos here in Linwood and killed a man. I was fine with that. Mm-hmm. So I tried to be calm, and at approximately 7:40 p.m., an hour later, he returned, knocked on the door, and I opened the door, and I was very calm, and all I said was, if there's a God, you did not go to a neighbor's house. And Kirk, his handler, said, I wouldn't allow it. He made Brent walk to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Now, there is a giant thread on the board ranting and raving about religion, and there have been statements on this show made about Jews, Christians, the whole 9 yards. I will say this, Mike Rowe, I don't care what you think of religion. I don't care what you think about people that follow the Christian religion, and apparently there are some people on our board who are very anti-Christian and very angry about the possibility of a person being a Christian. Mike Rowe is a man that gives Christians a good name.
He's a saint.
He should be deified.
He should, really. There should be a Mike Rowe Day.
There should be a Mike Rowe Day, because Mike Rowe took Brent home after this pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And he is the second man this weekend that has given Christians a fantastic name. The other being the Apostle Paul, going down to Oregon. Such a fine man. I mean, last time Paul worked security, this time he did music, and
very talented.
Paul, he's 20 years old, and when I told Tammy that, she almost fell out of her chair because she thought he was about 60 because of his gigantic beard.
Mm-hmm.
This is a young man. He was reading C.S. Lewis on the way down there, and he puts 1,000% into everything he does. Every single thing he does. When they put him in charge of music, it was like you were giving him $200,000 to do music for the night. I mean, he was a professional.
He was going to be the best music man in all of wrestling.
He was going to be the best music man in the history of the earth.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic man. And Mike Rowe, a fantastic man. And Kirk, I don't know if Kirk is a Christian, a Jew. I don't know what he is.
You don't care.
I don't care. He is a fine, fantastic, wonderful gentleman. And all three of those guys will be treated to a great barbecue, or fuck, I'll take them to Dancing with the Stars on December 22nd.
There you go.
They will be rewarded for this because,
Brent, on the other hand,
these three men, better men than I will ever be. That's all I have to say. That's all I'm going to say about Brent Kremen. Probably will never hear his name again for all I know. He annoyed the shit out of everybody just existing. And I don't know.
Yeah. It got to the point where he was counting the number of times we told him to shut up, and that means he knows he annoyed us.
Oh yeah, he's like a child. He understands. He's like a 7-year-old that knows that he's being annoying, and is just, you know what he is? He's a living troll.
He is. He's a troll of life.
He is a living, breathing troll. I mean, those of you, everybody on the board, you all know trolls. And I'm sure that those of you that have never been on a board before, you've been to a message board and seen a troll. Well, Brent Kremen is a living, breathing troll.
Brent was sitting on the chair on the side of the room, and the center of the room is a coffee table. On the other side of the table, I was watching the show from the floor. And at one point, I looked over on the table, and there was a large book. I don't remember what it was, but it's a large hardcover book. And I envisioned picking up the book and chucking it like a ninja star.
If you would have done that, I would have killed you. But
because you like the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could.
But if it would have been a rock, I'd have been fine with that.
I envisioned the book colliding with Brent's head.
A stone, some sort of tablet.
I could see it vividly. It was a beautiful thing.
Okay, no more talk of Brent.
Okay.
It's over. So, then we had the, Shannon Moore, and actually he's in ECW, but his clones.
This pissed me off.
Kazarian, Maverick, Matt, and, the Zombie, I believe, all came out.
Sadly, no, it's some other guy.
They're the new
Johnny something.
Johnny Devine. They're the new flock. And as they were cutting their promo to introduce this new stable, it was just interrupted by another new stable.
Yes.
The Voodoo Kin Mafia.
When Kazarian was talking, they interrupted somebody, and they were standing there with sticks menacingly, and Kazarian was talking about how they had seen the light, and he said something about a new mentor or a new figure they were following. And then the lights went out, and this video started to play, and I thought I was going to introduce the mentor. And then the letters Voodoo Kin Mafia came up, and I thought, well, it's kind of a weird name for this crew, but they're kind of a weird crew. It fits. And then suddenly...
Okay, hold on, I gotta stop you there.
Okay.
How in the world does that fit?
Just because they're both weird. And they're these very strange men who they would not pick a name called, like, the Killers. They would pick a wacky, nonsensical name.
Well, okay, hold on. The idea is it's VKM. Vincent K. McMahon.
I see that now.
And when I saw this reminded me of spam. I get this weird email spam all the time. And it's sent by a program that randomly picks two words and an initial and puts them together into a name. I swear to Christ Almighty.
I believe you.
I just got one. It's from Violently G. Celeste.
It's a fine name.
I get these all the time, and I laugh every single time I get them because I'm going to see if I have any more in my spam bin here that I can laugh about.
Ryan G. Celeste.
I should read these on the show every time. Oh, here's another one. Spats Q Beam sent me this one. I might get more.
You can start a whole federation for these characters.
You do.
Spats Q Beam, the new Intercontinental Champion. This is the era of Spats Q Beam.
I get these I get like 5 a day, and it's a random 2 words and an initial. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they decided VKM, and they just randomly ran it through like a computer, and it came up with Voodoo Kin Mafia.
Yep.
That's our new stable name.
That's us. We are the Voodoo Kin Mafia.
Or they went to New Japan and asked Chono or something, come up with a name for us here.
That may be, actually.
And he said, Voodoo Kin Mafia. And they went, yes, indeed. So anyway, they came out and they challenged Paul Levesque, Michael Hickenbottom, and Vincent K. McMahon. Not saying Hunter, Sean, and Vince, so they just assumed everybody knew their real names.
Yep. Classic Vince Russo stuff there.
Sure. And they said DX was sinking like the Titanic. I wish they'd thrown in the line about 2 old dudes trying to be cool. That would have made this the best segment ever. But they didn't. So, I do have to say this. It was dumb. I did not hate it nearly as much as I expected because the crowd was so into it. Here's the deal, everybody. There's no war.
Oh.
In case any of you are confused, there's no war. WWE gives a mild shit about TNA, and I mean very mild. There's no concern of TNA taking over the world. There is no new Monday Night War on the horizon. There is no war. Now, with that said, TNA fans want there to be a war.
That is the key.
They want to believe that there's a war, and thus they get into this war. They're the only ones, mind you, these 800 people in the Impact Zone.
Right.
But you know what? Fine. I love that Rhino promo where he came out and buried Vince. It was so dumb. Challenging Vince to come to the pay-per-view, whatever he did. It was dumb, but they went so crazy for him that it was like, he's a star.
Well, on the one hand, it's great that you're making the live crowd happy, but are people on TV really impressed by this? Are they gonna...
They can be. You can convince people that a guy's over by the reaction that he's getting from the crowd. If every time the guy comes out, the crowd's just going absolutely ballistic, you think, God, that guy must be a star. It is about perception in this business.
No, that's true.
And in that way, I didn't hate this, but it can lead nowhere good. Well, I mean, they did the deal where they went to Titan Towers or whatever, which conveniently they did on the day that they were all in the UK, and they were about 4 miles from Stamford, Connecticut. They were like pointing and like, that blur out there in the distance is Titan Towers, and you're like, wow, hell of an invasion there, guys.
Yeah.
And it's wacky and goofy, and it's frankly kind of embarrassing. But that was all on the internet, so who cares? But I don't see where this can go that can be a positive, other than they just come on TV every week and say mean things about WWE.
I predict there'll be one funny skit where they mock DX, they come out in costume, and then I don't know. DX is not going to show up at the Impact Zone for a match.
No.
I don't know how this is going to lead to the
or mention them. They will never be acknowledged on WWE TV.
I can honestly see someone walking to Vince McMahon saying, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn to skip making fun of you, and he would say, who?
Yeah.
But, the promo itself, I don't know where it's going, but it was fun while it lasted. I just hated the fact that they had the new group out, and then the other new group out came out and killed them.
Yeah.
And I think the first new group, the Nameless Weirdos, weren't they threatening to beat somebody up? Wasn't there a 4th man in the ring at some point? I've totally forgotten.
I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
Too much shit in too little time.
Too little time? They had fucking 120 minutes.
Or sorry. Whatever.
Raw. Opened up with Flair coming out, challenging the Spirit Squad. Long story short, ended up with Shawn, Flair, and Hunter versus the Spirit Squad. Went all the way through a commercial break. Hunter had vowed this was the last time we would ever see the Spirit Squad. They actually had a far more... let me say this. I knew they were leaving. So at first I thought, this is a far more competitive match than you would think they would give a group that they are defeating soundly and sending packing, literally. With that said, the finish was all 3 of DX putting all the Spirit Squad guys in a triple figure 4 and getting the triple submission. And really, I don't know if it would have worked as well as it did if the Spirit Squad hadn't been put over at least nominally strong.
Yeah.
So, that was my explanation for that whole thing. They beat the Spirit Squad, like I said, triple submission. Flair looked like he was about to cry afterwards. He was very emotional. I presume the reason for this was because word came out today that Roddy Piper has cancer, and that information is up on the front page of F4W Online, but I presume that's the reason there, but he was in quite the state afterwards, so everybody was celebrating with him, lifting his hands up in the air, that sort of thing. And then after commercial, DX put the Spirit Squad in a box.
They put him in a box.
They put him in a box, and they sent him to Ohio Valley Wrestling in Louisville.
They slapped a giant sticker on it that said OVW Louisville.
They mailed them.
They had a wacky skit with the OPS guy, which I presume is because UPS wouldn't let them use their logo, but they shipped them in a box to Louisville. They said they would be there by Christmas. Yeah.
Yep.
They're done.
The Spirit Squad is finished. I had very mixed feelings about this. It was wacky. It was funny. It's probably a little too inside, because I bet if I asked 15 of my casual fan friends, 14 would have no idea what Ohio Valley is.
I am 99% sure this is the first time the letters OVW were ever put on Raw.
Probably. I do think that most fans probably figured out that because it was 3 letters, it was some wacky promotion somewhere that nobody had ever heard of that they were being sent to, so I guess in that sense it worked. But between this and the Mike Knox deal and some other stuff, I wouldn't mind if Mike Knox went back to Ohio Valley forever and I never saw him again. I wouldn't be sad if half the Spirit Squad went to Ohio Valley and I never saw him again. With that said, this is very short-sighted by WWE. They don't have a lot of rising stars, and to be burying them in this manner, Chris Masters is another one, to just be burying these guys, and it's not like they've got a developmental system or a number of developmental systems across the country where they're just churning out Rocks and Steve Austins.
The next big stars is supposed to be Deuce and Domino.
They're fucking churning out the Spirit Squad and Mike Knox.
Yeah.
And you send those guys back, and what you're going to get in return is another Mike Knox and another Mitch.
Yeah.
Okay, they need to work on developmental. The best period WWE ever had was when they had winners coming out of developmental. The Kurt Angles and the Rocks and the guys like that. Now they've got geeks coming out of developmental. There are problems with the developmental system. They need more developmental systems, and they cannot be sacrificing guys like this and making fools of them because they don't have a ton of new guys coming up to take their spots. Who's coming up to replace the Spirit Squad? If it is Deuce and Domino, I'll kill myself.
That won't work.
MVP just got recently brought up.
Yep.
Not ready.
No.
Not ready. Ken Kennedy got called up way too early. I don't even want to get into Mike Knox and all these guys, but the point is they need to work on this because this is a problem.
I also love that the first time they ever mentioned OVW on Raw, and it's a very derogatory term. This is where wrestlers go when they suck.
Yeah.
I've always said, in pro sports, when someone has a good college career, they use that to hype up the athlete. Here's so-and-so. Here's Matt Leinart. He won national championships and a Heisman Trophy. In Raw, you can say, here's Brock Lesnar. He's a former OVW tag champion. No mention.
No.
Here's Shelton Benjamin, multiple-time tag champion. John Cena, OVW champion, OVW tag champion. Nope, nothing.
Or better yet, they call up MVP after acknowledging no other companies and saying he was a huge star elsewhere. What does that mean?
Perhaps in a E-Fed somewhere.
Is it this mysterious Ohio Valley place where men are sent when they suck? Is that where MVP was a great man at? No one knows.
No one knows. So yeah, this was just odd.
Yep, this was lame. This is from Dr. Love, real name Bryan, from Livermore, California. Bryan and Vinny. After 3 months of mooching and watching the epic drama unfold that was The Battle, I couldn't resist anymore and officially joined the Empire. Going on 2 months now. As someone who has always wished the industry was more respected in the mainstream, it's great, along with Big Dave and a very, very, very short list of others, to have Mr. Alvarez, who I dare say is the Bill Apter of this generation minus the kayfabe. Take a serious journalistic point of view on the industry, so a big shout out to the man, Super Chico. That's me.
So you're nothing at all like Bill Apter then.
Bill Apter, you know.
He's a
legend.
I see his point. All right.
Much like myself. As for Vinny, I think you're a great guy and an entertaining sidekick, but to you and all the other dorks that follow the business, put down the comic books, turn off Transformers the movie, get on the fucking treadmill, and please stop having debates with the other dorks on completely pointless things like why did Anakin Skywalker not immediately switch to a red lightsaber once he officially became a Sith Lord.
Okay.
I'm sure
I will.
I'm sure saying this to Vince will not really do anything, since we all need to do things, and in fact makes up the great guy that you are, Vince. So a big shout out to you. Now we'll wrap up this shout out for Vince by just going with the flow.
I do have to say, I mean,
he's not done yet, goddammit.
Oh.
First, if you haven't done so already, I highly recommend trying the snack wraps at that famous fast food place with the golden arches. A fried chicken strip wrapped in a flour tortilla with cheese, lettuce, and mayo to fill that terrifying endless void you call a stomach.
They're good.
Finally, Vince, a question. In Transformers, the first generation cartoon series, where the hell did Optimus Prime's fucking trailer go when he transformed into a fucking robot? It always just backed up and went away.
That's the answer. It was just parked off to the side.
Dr. Love.
That's all. I gotta say, I mean this is constructive criticism, Dr. Love, but when you identify yourself as, for example, Dr. Love, do not immediately give your real name. You do not see Dr. Wagner Jr. make an entrance in Arena Mexico and so say, ladies and gentlemen, I know they call me Dr. Wagner, but my real name is Steve. So just a hint. Just stick with